We enter the last chapter walking a hard road. The cross is daily. The throne is not yet. The king promised to come. The centuries have stacked up, and the wedding is nowhere in sight. So how does the bride keep putting one foot in front of the other down a costly road toward a day she has never seen? The answer is that she learns to live in a very strange in-between. Here is the shape of the Christian life that almost no one explains to you up front, and so almost everyone is confused by it. The kingdom of God has already come, and it has not yet come. Both are true at once. It came in the King himself, risen and reigning. It came in the Spirit breathed into ordinary people. It is here now, wherever the colony lives by his mind. And yet it is plainly not here in full. There is no throne you can see. There is no wedding yet. The world is not made new. The cancer still kills. The unjust still prosper. Your own mind still throws up the old counterfeits. The sun has risen over the horizon, but it has not yet climbed the sky. So the honest Christian life is joy and groaning at the very same time. Paul says it without flinching. We ourselves groan inwardly as we wait. Romans chapter 8, verse 23. And John, we are God's children now, and what we will be has not yet appeared. 1 John chapter 3, verse 2. You have genuinely tasted the kingdom, and you genuinely still ache. Anyone who tells you it should be all the one or all the other is selling you something. Hold those two truths together, and they keep you out of two ditches that have swallowed a great many people. Let go of the already, and you fall into despair, as though the kingdom were entirely future, as though nothing had really changed, as though you were only white-knuckling through a meaningless wait. But the kingdom is here. The king is risen. The Spirit is in you. You reign, even now, in part. Let go of the not yet, and you fall into the opposite ditch, the one that sells your best life now, that promises health and wealth and unbroken happiness on this side of the wedding, and that quietly tells the suffering Christian her pain must be her own fault. That is a lie, and a cruel one. The full healing, the full justice, the full glory are not yet. A bride still on the hard road is not a failed bride. She is right on schedule. And because the wait is long, there are two classic ways to wait badly. The first is to become obsessed with the date, to read every war and every headline as the final sign, to calculate and predict, to lurch from one certain end time to the next, disappointed each time the day comes and goes. The second is its exact opposite, to give up, to decide that 2,000 years is proof enough that he is not coming, to stop watching at all, and to let the lamp slowly go out from sheer neglect. One waits in feverish anxiety. The other stops waiting altogether. Both have gotten a not yet badly wrong. Jesus told a story aimed at exactly this. 10 bridesmaids waited for the bridegroom, and the telling detail is that the bridegroom was delayed. Matthew chapter 25, verse 5. The wise had kept oil for their lamps and were ready when at last he came at midnight. The foolish had let theirs run dry. His point was not a date. It was readiness through the delay. Keep awake, he said. Matthew chapter 25, verse 13. Not calculate, not give up, but stay ready. Keep the lamp lit. Keep the received life burning near the flame, however long the night runs. But here is the thing that finally dissolves the it is taking forever, and it is worth more than any end times chart ever drawn. Yes, the wait has been long in the world's history, but for you, it is never more than a breath away. Whatever the calendar says, whatever century you happen to stand in, the next thing any of us will know, when we close our eyes for the last time, is the day itself. There is no long, conscious wait on the far side of that breath. There is only then and the face of the bridegroom. Which means the day is not really far off at all. It is always one heartbeat away for every generation alike. Salvation is nearer to us now, Paul wrote, than when we first believed. Romans chapter 13, verse 11. You do not need to predict the calendar. You need only remember that you are always, at most, a single breath from the wedding. So the bride waits, but notice what kind of waiting it is, for it is nothing like what the world means by hope. The world's hope is really only optimism, a vague feeling that things will probably get better. Biblical hope is nothing so flimsy. It is confident assurance, and it is anchored not in a guess about the future, but in something that has already happened. The King is risen, and Paul calls his resurrection the first fruits. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 20 to 23. The first sheaf of a harvest whose first cutting guarantees that the rest is coming. And the Spirit already living in you, Paul says, is a guarantee, a down payment, the first installment of an inheritance certain to be paid in full. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 22. Do you see what that means? The already you have tasted is God's own deposit, his pledge, his proof of the not yet. Hope does not lean on wishful thinking. It leans its entire weight on a promise already half kept. And because this is the thread running through everything, you do not manufacture that hope by gritting your teeth and resolving to feel hopeful. You receive it. The lamp does not stay lit by willpower. It stays lit by staying near the flame, near the Word, near the Spirit, near the others who are waiting alongside you. Hope, like the mind itself, comes a measure at a time, renewed today by the same God who will keep it burning to the end. Waiting well is not white-knuckling. It is simply staying close to the one you're waiting for. So, that is how the bride walks the long road, lamplit, neither frantic nor asleep, never more than a breath from the wedding, leaning the whole weight of her hope on a King already risen. Which leaves only the last and best question in this whole book. We have said the word wedding 100 times now. We have pointed, chapter after chapter, toward a throne. But what actually happens when the waiting finally ends, when the bridegroom really does come, and the long story of the made-up mind comes at last to its end? That is where we are going, and it is worth the whole journey.